everybody. Welcome to Utah Music Producers. I'm here with Jason Jones of Art City Sound in his studio, hanging out on his love seat. Right?
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you. This is the first time I've met Jason,
Yeah.
but I've known about him for a long time. Him and I, we've been doing music off and on here and there for a long time.
Since
used
2009.
to message in from work.
Yeah, that's
Music,
right.
remember
Oh my
that?
gosh,
Yeah.
that was way before that.
Yeah, a long time ago. But he built this amazing house up here in Springville, right on the, it's almost on the bench, isn't it? Kind of?
Sort of. It's you go up to Canyon more, and then you go up to the crazy rich people. But this is nice. We're on the hill.
Yeah. Beautiful studio. I remember when he was building this, he was posting stuff all over social media, had a cool website. Before this, he was still doing this in his house, but he has stepped it up a notch, and it's very impressive. Keeps busy.
But we just decided that it was time to get serious.
Yeah, if you're going to do what you love, you might as well go for it, right?
Exactly.
So the name, Art City Sound, talk about that.
Well, before we were Art City Sound, we were Advanced Budget Studios, and
Right.
this just didn't fit anymore when we built this, and so I was thinking about it while we were living in Farmington.
Yeah.
While we were having this house built, and I thought Art City Studio because Springville is the Art City. That's the nickname.
Gotcha.
There's
I did not know that.
Yep. And so I thought, well, Art City Studio was already taken, and I thought Art City Sound. And I was like, it was between Art City Sound and Art City Audio.
Gotcha.
And Art City Sound just kind of sounded a little better.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
And I know that you prided yourself on keeping your costs pretty low.
Yeah.
To help people get in and that wanted to produce
stuff.
Yeah. And I thought that was really cool because I think you still had really some pretty decent gear.
Well, at the time it was horrible. We just did a lot of stuff with it. We made it sound as good as it could.
I've been there.
Yeah.
But I think the technology has come so far, like DAW wise and things that almost anyone can do it these days. But there's something to be said about having a real studio and really digging in and producing with real mics and spending the money and getting good sounds with good preamps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So tell me why'd musical journey and why'd you start recording and why'd you start playing drums?
That's a great question.
He's a drummer. He hires himself out. That's
I do.
I've used Jason a couple times. Well, more than a couple times probably. Huh?
Yeah.
A few times.
Yeah. I was born in a semi not very musical family, and it was weird. I grew up. We didn't have much of a stereo.
That's why you're a drummer, right?
Right. And I don't know. I always had music in me. I got my first drum kit when I was 14, but before that, when I was my mom told me when I was 2, she would shut me up to not shut me up, but she would when she needed her time, she would put me in a room full of pots and pans, and I would go to town on them. And so that's
that explains the obsession.
That explains quite a bit. But then when I was 14, I got my first kit, and then in 2001, around that time, I thought it would be cool if I could record myself playing drums, and it was all downhill from there. I found it was I found out it was really difficult to get a good drum sound, and so I just kept trying and honing, and at the time I had no aspiration or ambition of recording anybody else. I just wanted to do it because I wanted to do it.
I think that's kind of where we all start a little bit when we start doing this.
Right.
So
those of us who have it in our blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a programmer for 15 years, and programming. I always just wanted to get good enough to get by. I wanted to be I wanted to be a good programmer, but whenever I did music, I wanted to be the best that I possibly could. And in 2009, I started charging people. I had a neighborhood kid come over with his band and just say, hey, we've got a band and heard you had a microphone, and so
wow. And was that in Farmington?
No, that was in Springville. That was
okay.
in 2009.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'd been doing it for about seven or eight years.
Cool.
Just myself, and and then they really loved it, and I thought, holy crap, that was fun, and I made a little bit of money, and holy crap, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And so they talked, and then people came, and by 2012, I was working almost as much in the studio as I was my programming job.
Yeah.
And then we decided to get serious, and we found this place through the grace of God, and we found we got a layout, a blueprint that would work, and before they finished building the house, we started building the studio, and I worked for 6 months before they started building on learning acoustics with a guy in Australia, a designer in Australia. We went through 7 different iterations with this layout, this space of how I could best utilize it. And
we'll video this in just a minute, but it almost has this Abbey Road feel to it because you have the loft type of thing up top, and not quite as big, but but it's cool. I like it. Yeah, it's kind of like you're looking down at
upon the instrument, the musicians.
Yes. Okay.
From above. No, so then we built it, and we started in 2012, December 4th of 2012. We started building the studio, and my first clients came in before the glass was put in, February 29th of 2013, and then I quit my full-time job in March or April 1st or something.
So tell me about that, because for me, like I still have a regular job that I do, but I do this on the side, right?
Uh-huh.
So was there a little bit of fear going into that,
No.
like insurance-wise or anything like that?
No, there was tons of fear. I was terrified.
Cool. Yeah.
Rich, I was terrified.
Yeah, I bet. Because I never asked you that.
No.
But I saw that you had, I think I asked you, hey, are you doing this full-time? You're like, yeah. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
But I never went into detail about it. But yeah,
well, no, I just felt that this was the right path. That's
cool.
Really all I can, without getting too sentimental or anything.
Right.
I felt that this was what I needed to do full time, and my wife was totally on board, and I couldn't have done it without her.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, and she was like, "Have you quit your job yet?" I was like,
wow.
"No, gosh, let me cut the umbilical, man. I've been doing this for 15 years." And so 2 weeks after we decided, I gave my boss the 2 weeks. He thought I was insane.
Wow.
And my parents thought I was insane too.
Yeah. My parents would be like,
"What are you doing?"
You went to college?
What? Right.
Yeah.
And so but since then it was really, really difficult at the beginning, and now it's I wouldn't change it for the world.
So tell me about some of the bands you've had here that maybe people would know about.
Not
local ones that are somewhat making some headway. Or
that are of note.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got Johnny K and the crew recorded his second or third. I'm not sure if it was his second or third album, but I've got it on the wall up there, and it won the 2014 Utah Music Awards in the rock category. Best rock album of the year.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so Johnny K, he's recorded here. He's been threatening to come in to see some of the upgrades that I've made recently to record some more stuff.
Cool.
Who else? Lucid 8. They're touring around Utah, and they're gonna start recording their 4th album. I did their first album. They went somewhere else for the second, came back for the third, and we're gonna start the 4th next week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It seems like maybe I'm just off base, but Blue Aces.
Yeah.
Did you record some of those?
Yeah,
stuff?
I did.
They're kind of a cool little girl
They
band
are.
from Provo, right? Or they're from Provo, yeah.
Yeah, they came to my other studio. They haven't been here.
Oh, gotcha.
But when they were started out, we recorded three or four of their first songs, their first EP.
Yeah.
And that was a learning experience for me.
That's a cool. That's a cool little group, man.
Yeah.
Those girls.
They're amazing.
Little talented and just, she can sing.
Oh, she can.
Awesome, dude. Well, let's look around at some of this stuff because there's a lot of things I want to ask you about.
Okay.
Let's talk about your drums first because I know you're a drummer. So tell me about your... what kind of drums are these?
It's a DW Performance Series kit. It's the way they described it is the cheapest kit of DW that sounds as good as their collector series.
Gotcha.
And the exact anything above this is more for looks, but they sound fantastic. It's a
heads on there.
pure maple kit.
Nice.
And I love it.
Now, do you when you track bands, are they coming in here and using your?
Yeah, 90% of the time.
Yeah,
because that's one of the selling points. Is as you can see, it's all mic'd. It's ready to go.
Just show up and play.
Yep, show up. I make a few tweaks. This is probably needing to go down a little bit, but and then they hop on it, move it around just a tiny bit, and then we go.
What do you got? What are you using for overheads?
They're the Shure KSM 32s.
Nice.
They sound good. They're a lot different. I used Audio-Technica 4041s for a long time and would switch out the Apex 201s, which are just ultra low end mics that I had modified by Michael Jolie in Massachusetts, and they came back sounding amazing.
Cool.
And they when I record stuff that needs to be more body and less shimmer, I put those ribbons on it. It changes the whole character of the kit.
Awesome.
These are super ultra crystalline. These are
pick up the high end.
Pick up the high end really good. I'm not sure if I like them yet. I do. I like them, but I've been using them now for a couple months. About 3 or 4 months ago, I got them,
And a lot of your cymbals on here I'm looking at are really shiny, like they're new. Like, did you recently invest in
these ones I got. These ones I got about 9 months ago, and I play them. I play these every day.
Cool.
These I've had for probably 4 years, and so the A Customs are newer. I've got the AAX. I've got some more in the cymbal bag, but this one's my oldest. I love it. The Pisces 20.
Cool. And then you're using Audix
mics. Yep.
Mics to do the toms and the snare.
Yeah, the D2s. I got those quite a while ago, and they sound so good that I've never even considered upgrading them. I probably should. I've been upgrading everything else, but I've got a D6 in the kick.
Cool.
And the sub kick on the outside. Yeah. That adds a lot of.
Yeah, I remember when I was doing tracks with you, you'd send me both those, the sub kick and the.
Yeah.
And that helps put the
3-dimensional punches. Gives it a lot of low end.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice kit. Love it. Is this the only kit you have here, or is there?
That's my gigging kit.
Gigging kit. So you just have the two.
Yeah. I've got that's Mapex Mars, and I had a lot of clients that asked if I was interested in doing a couple of gigs with them. I was like, I took this out once and I'll never do it again. Yeah. Never. This stays in the studio.
I have a friend up in Brigham City that's those Guitar Center drum offs that they have. Have you ever done one of those?
Yeah.
Okay. He won like for 3 years in a row or something up in the Roy store.
Yeah.
Or maybe he went all the way to Salt. I don't know how they do the drum off. Anyway, I went to his house, and in his basement he's got like, oh, check out this kit. Check out this kit.
Oh, really?
And he opened up this other closet. Here's this kit. And then he has this huge kit. I mean, it's awesome. He's a big Neil Peart.
Neil Peart, yeah.
But he has Peart, is that how you say it?
I think. I don't know.
But he was just surrounded by drums, and that's
360.
Which is just it's amazing.
Wow.
Anyway, well, cool. Let's talk about some of your instruments that you've got. So it looks like you got an Ibanez.
That's 320.
Nice.
And they're intermediate guitars. They're nothing really special. The reason I got them is I was sick of high school students bringing in utter crap.
Right.
Bringing in super low end instruments, and it's impossible to get a good sound out of a low end, piece of crap instrument, for lack of a better term.
And then you've got what kind of acoustic is that?
I should have got it out. This is a Seagull.
Oh yeah, those are nice guitars.
Yeah, this is the one that I show to almost everybody who comes in, and when they play it, unless they've got like a Martin or a Taylor, they end up using this, and it's SWS-QS, I think, semi-gloss.
Nice.
And I'm not a guitarist. I can play a couple of chords, but I knew I needed a guitar that sounded good. And so this is.
Yeah, Seagulls are great guitars.
Yeah. They sold me. I went to the Salt Lake. We had a great Salt Lake Guitar Company in Provo.
Yeah.
And they had tons of Seagulls, and I loved it. I don't hang it on the wall because I don't want people to touch it.
Like, don't touch that. Don't touch that. What's this? Is this a 12-string over here? What is it, Dan Electro?
Yeah, that is.
What is this?
Centennial, I think.
It's cool.
Continental. Kappa. Yeah, Kappa Continental. This actually is more sentimental than I've never played it. It's horribly out of tune.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it just looks cool.
It just looks cool, and I'm sure that it would sound good if I got some new strings. But about 6 months ago, last fall, I had a friend who her husband died, and she was from Colombia, where I served in my mission, and she got married to him, and he had a heart attack and died. And I went to the funeral, and she gave that to me as a gift. It was her husband's, and I thought that was just really cool. It's an electric 12-string.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I didn't even know they made electric 12 strings.
Dan Electro, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can tell I know a lot about guitars.
So I was noticing this is what's really cool about above your kit here. Now I know you built these yourself.
Yeah, well, it's obvious they're not super professional.
They look cool though.
I painted them,
and so tell me about this. How's it helping with the sound? Like, what have you noticed? Like a huge.
This was what made the room sound the way that it does.
Gotcha.
When I first got here, it was a concrete box. Of course, all that is just wood. That the dry room will probably go in there later. But this was just a 25 by 25 or 23 by 25 concrete box. We're right underneath the garage, and when I came in here, you would clap and you would literally hear the reflections for 3 or 4 seconds after. Wow. It was crazy. And so we built it, and of course you need to put acoustic absorption. And I found that 3 pound per cubic foot semi-stiff fiberboard generally doesn't matter the manufacturer, but a lot of people use Owens Corning.
Yeah.
And it has the exact same acoustic properties as RLX.
Yeah.
And so I thought,
I built a few in my own place.
Yeah, all of this is the same stuff. All of these are that same material, but they're just covered.
Gotcha.
Because it is fiberglass, and you don't want to get it on you. But it looks nice, so it just left it uncovered.
Yeah.
But we built that and hung it up, and it made the sound much more controlled. For about 8 months when we first began in 2013, I didn't have it up. I hadn't built it, and I just noticed that there was a lot, when you got into the high end, it lost a lot of clarity because you would have reflections going up and down and up and down. And so when I put that up, it changed the whole room. The whole room sounded markedly different. And the thing that it changed the most, oddly enough, was the kick drum.
Cool, like the low end.
Yeah. The definition of the kick was enhanced.
Nice.
Greatly just by that.
So you've got a little dark tear over here.
Yeah, that's the only amp I've got.
Yeah.
And I've had other amps, but nobody ever used them.
Yeah.
And so this is the dark terror, and then it's a combo with the tiny terror on the inside, and we just pipe this through the same amp. And I've had hundreds of songs recorded with a combination of these two, and everybody uses them. So I got rid of my other ones. Perfect. They literally just sat around, and a lot of because I don't have a ton of amps. Mostly people come to get drums sound, but we've had plenty of full bands come in, and they love the sound of that.
Cool.
That orange.
And then is this back here is your vocal booth, right?
This is my dry room.
Your dry room, okay.
Yeah, the vocal booth's up there.
Oh. Oh yeah, there it is.
It's teeny. So when I was designing this, we went back and forth with I forgot his name, dagnabbit. But yeah, I wanted this room to be big enough to put a full kit in, but no bigger. And so I can fit that my full DW kit in here. And this is the dry room. It has
right on.
It's the acoustics are radically different, and we've it's not totally dead, but it's very dry.
Yeah, you've built a lot of these bass traps. It's amazing.
Me and my parents
put some time into it. Yeah.
In 2 days, we just spent all
just busted
day.
them out. Cool.
Yeah, 2x4 and.
Your parents, huh?
Yeah.
They supportive,
wanted
man.
to help.
That's
they
cool.
were like, yeah, we want to support this, and I was like, well, come and help me build this stuff. And so these are built. Here you probably see this one. I've got I don't know if you can see in there, but there's 2 inches. There's 2 inches of stuff, and then there's 2 more inches of space in between the wall.
Right.
And acoustically, that allows it to capture deeper tones.
Gotcha.
It goes down to 125 hertz. It'll.
Yeah, when I hung mine, I noticed I read a bunch of stuff. And they're like, make sure you keep it away.
Yeah. So 2 inches and then 2 inches and.
What kind of mic we got going on here?
Oh, this is Mic Tech CV4. I love it. That's the belle of the ball. That's by far the most expensive mic I've got.
Okay.
And,
Mic Tech.
Mic Tech.
How come I haven't heard of those guys?
They are out of Nashville.
Okay.
It's a tube mic, and it's amazing. I was hesitant to buy it because of the price, but every review that I read says that it is. It competes with microphones much more expensive, but I'm pretty sure that every mic claims that. And but I got it on good authority from a guy that I trust in Nashville that is the mic that I want.
Cool.
And
what do they run?
I got that for $1,600.
Nice. Cool.
And so yeah.
Awesome, man. Okay, so this is the control room. So this is where you mix all your stuff. And
yeah.
What are you using for monitors?
Adam A7X's.
Okay.
With a sub, and
nice.
It's an Adam sub. It's the sub 8.
So have you always been mixing with a sub, or did you start doing that a while ago?
I started. I got that in December of 2013. So I've been mixing with it for about 2 years, and the A7X's. I felt they got down. They got. Down low, but I don't know. I just felt like I needed a sub, and so I did. And when I got it, it helped. It helped.
So
quite a bit.
Did your mixes translate better because of the sub?
Yes.
Or really? Cool?
Yep. I used to have to take it with my car. I've got 2 10-inch subs in my car, and I would take it out there, and undoubtedly I would have some sort of problem or issue that needed tweaking after I heard it in the car. And this took care of it. This I very rarely will take any of my mixes anywhere else to listen to them. And I like this sub because it is not overpowering, and it refuses to be. It'll clip out. It'll short itself out and turn itself off if it gets too loud.
And so tell us what you're using. The Studio One, huh?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh my gosh, yes, I love it.
I saw Reaper on there too.
I did.
I was gonna ask you about that.
I used Reaper for about between 2 or 3 months.
I'm a Reaper geek. I use Reaper.
You do? Oh, nice. Yeah, I used Reaper for 2 or 3 months, and I just was when I switched I used Linux for
I remember that
for 10 years.
Yeah, it was.
I was Harddoor and Mixbus and
yeah.
And I just got to the point where I was too crippled by it. There's virtually no virtual instrumentation. There's no packages, software packages. There's plenty of plugins as far as like EQs and compressors and limiters and all of that stuff. But the thing that pushed me over to Windows, or not Linux, it really I use Windows because Mac is much more expensive. Yeah. Was a cellist. I had a song and it needed a cello, and I brought a cellist in, and she was okay, but the client didn't think she was good enough, and all the guys that were good enough were too expensive.
Right.
And so I started listening to patches to virtual instruments, and I found a Tina Guo I don't remember what company sampled her, but her playing. But I heard it on just YouTube, and I was dumbfounded. I was blown away, and so I thought, you know what, out with it. And I went to Windows, I bought Reaper, I got the plugin, and it was amazing. And the client was like, yes, holy cow, that is absolutely gorgeous. And so then
I've never even used a Mac. I've always just been a Windows guy.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
All right.
Yep.
I've got a couple of Macaholics in my family that are just like, why don't you buy a Mac Pro? I'm like, $4,500.
It's expensive.
Holy cow!
I'm wondering about these right here. Actually,
Oh, this is all
like
about studio.
This is the most interesting item in here.
Yes.
So.
Well, I've got
that makes you mix better, right?
That makes me. I always mix with this. Yes, and then you turn the cap up.
I gotta tell people, Jason's got some hair. He put his cap on, but he's got some.
I got some hair there.
He's got some crazy stuff going on there.
Yeah, that's why we did the glasses because I had my hair out and I looked like Animal. And awesome, it was too masculine.
You're a drummer, dude.
Exactly. Yeah. So we needed to tone it down a little bit with the gold glasses.
Good. All right, so tell me about what you're using here.
All right,
I know some of this stuff because I use it too. But
yeah, the pre-73s were that was my first high and intermediate and mid end prosumer preamp, and I used it a lot with an MXL V77A that I got from a musical forum from homerecording.com, right? And when I was in there every day.
It's funny because I had one of these, and I used it for a while thinking it would be just something that I really wanted to use. I don't use it that much anymore.
I don't either.
Yeah. I don't know.
You'll notice I didn't even turn them on.
Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know. I mean, I think they sound good.
Yeah, they sound all right.
But they don't sound as good as like my Focusrite.
No.
And stuff like that.
Agreed. Yeah, I've got the Focusrite ISA 8. Yeah. This is the one that is my overflow now.
Gotcha.
The
API.
Yeah, the API. I love that. I've got my kick, the D6 going through there, and the I5 for the snare, and my tom 2 and 3, my second rack tom and floor tom going through those two, because this just makes.
What are you doing with this?
That's the MicTech MPA 201, and I'm doing the overheads through this. This makes condensers sound quite good, and it's got a dedicated circuit for direct in. It's got its own transformer for bass and guitar when they want to go direct.
Cool. And then what am I looking at right here?
That is an RME ADI8QS. RME ADI8QS, and it's a converter.
Your converter. Okay.
Yeah, that is also that's probably the most expensive piece of equipment.
Now, Jason has this cool little rack here. And
this does. Here, you know what?
All right, so we're gonna look into the.
I had this custom built by a guy
into the abyss.
Needed some help, and the top looks absolutely gorgeous. This is the.
Yes, it does.
We've got the stains right here.
Cup stains. Cup stains.
I'm not sure what that is. I really don't want to know.
Cigarette burn?
Probably. So yeah, it just comes straight off, and
nice.
Yeah, you got access to everything.
Yeah, I need something like this because I'm always having to crawl behind stuff.
Yeah, well,
that's nice.
He did a good job.
One thing I really like about what I'm seeing here is that your setup is incredibly minimal, which actually gives you a lot of working space.
Yeah.
There's room to just get around.
Well, that's good.
You know.
It's not a huge room.
Yeah, this is a pretty good sized room.
And we love it mixing.
Yeah,
it's we built it so that it's as symmetrical as it can be. The hole over there was one thing that we were concerned about when we were designing it. Just because with mixing with a proper stereo image, you want the room to be completely symmetrical. That's another thing. Is this the angles of the
Yeah, I noticed you have all the angles on here.
The RFZ right here. The whole room is designed for that spot right there.
That's cool. And I noticed you have the same cloud up above the drums.
The cloud up there. And this one was necessary. I couldn't mix without it. I tried for a couple of days to mix in the room without this, and I couldn't hear anything. I could hear everything. There was no stereo information. It was bouncing all over the place.
And just for you guys that are watching this, we were actually in Jason's house, but we're not in his house. Oh, yeah. We're in his basement, sort of, kind of, right?
Sort of.
Right?
This is
completely separate from the house.
Totally separate. Yeah. It's got its own heating and cooling. It's got its own entrance,
which I wish I had.
Yeah,
that's
my
nice.
wife. That was one thing that Sarah.
And it's below the garage, so they can't hear all the ruckus that goes on down here.
No, I can play my drums in the middle of the night.
That's cool.
Here's the thing.
Awesome. Well, let's look at the vocal booth real quick.
Oh yeah, if you can fit. It's tiny.
Oh wow, yeah.
There's the bathroom over there. So
there is a bathroom. I hear great tones come out of these.
Yes, not that one. That one is it's probably the worst sounding room. And so this is the booth.
Cool.
And I designed it so
I like the line of sight where they can actually see the band down there and they can see you.
Put the mic here. I've got they can see me through here. Yeah. And all of the band members, even if we've got a keyboardist and a bassist directing in through there, a drummer in there, vocalist in here, and a guitarist down in the dry room, they theoretically all should be able to see each other and be able to, create that vibe that is when you can see your bandmates.
Love it, dude.
Makes a difference.
Jealous. Nice setup, man.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to tell us about?
I don't know. I love doing this. I do it because I love it. I had a career before I did this, and
you still have a career, man.
I love this.
This is your career.
This is what I love doing.
I want to thank Jason Jones with Art City Sound for letting me come by and check out his studio. If you like this channel, please subscribe and leave comments about or questions about gear. Anything you want to talk about, it would be awesome. I would love it. I know Jason would love it.
Yeah.
Maybe you can check it out when I post the video.
I'd love it, yeah. I can't wait.
But man, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Rich.
I want to ask one tip for people that want to get into this that think they can make a career. What kind of...
Oh gosh. Tip? Don't do it if you want to make money.
You gotta love it, right?
Honestly, you gotta love it, and it's my life is much happier now that I do this. But a tip, man, study a lot and
learn a lot.
Do from other people, and do what you love. For me, it was drums.
Yeah,
and if you love it. I don't know how to say this without sounding cliche, but if you love it, you'll succeed.
Yeah, cool.
If you've got the passion, you'll succeed.
Right, and it's interesting because I've never met Jason. We've chatted online. I've seen all this cool stuff. On film or on Facebook, you look like you're this tall.
Oh, really?
In real life, I'm 6'4".
Jason, 6'2".
6'2", yeah. So he's a big guy. I'm just like, you can never tell how big people are from what you see on. Anyway,
you really can't.
Dude, thanks.
Thank you so much for doing this.